Last week, Kathy and I downloaded the COVID tracing app, which is available for anyone who's a resident of Ontario. And it is a technological marvel. Without giving away any of your privacy, it will let you know if you've been in the vicinity of anyone who's tested positive for the virus. I mean, what's going to make this so fantastic is we won't have to have a lockdown anymore. If someone tests positive, they can quickly isolate and solve the problem without having to shut down the whole economy. It's a fantastic thing. But when we posted on Facebook that we got this app, immediately I got an attack. Someone wrote to me right away and basically inferred that it was so foolish what I had done. And then they warned me, don't take that evil killer vaccine, which of course would follow the app. And there's so much skepticism about the recommendations from the government. I mean, here we are, there's a vaccine in the works, we've got this app, but people don't trust authority anymore, especially right now. And I think what happened was the reason why we're not trusting government, we're not trusting authority, is because when the virus first broke out, there was so much confusion. No government had ever seen this problem before. And so they didn't know what advice to give us. And that's why it kept changing. So then people say, how can I believe anything you tell me because it keeps changing? However, there's a lot of good news now that we have a lot of experience with the virus. I mean, I'm speaking now as a physician. The treatments are so much better. Their survival rates in the ICU are better because now we have a better handle on how to handle it. Also, too, the prevention is working. I mean, in Ontario or in Canada, the infection numbers are dropping steadily because of advice we're getting from the government. Masks and distancing actually prevent the virus more than sterilizing our groceries. We don't have to boil our groceries anymore. And so there's actually some reasons to trust and be confident in our authorities who are giving us advice. But here's the bottom line. The reason we are so hesitant to trust another human is that we have a built-in skepticism. We can't trust someone until they've proven they're trustworthy. And so we just say, I can't trust you until you prove that you have earned my trust. And so that's hard, and humans fail, and humans will always mess up. And so that's why there's so much skepticism right now about the coronavirus. But here's another bigger problem, is as much as we are so skeptical of trusting a human, we've transferred that to God. We assume that God is like a human, and that we can't trust him until he's proven himself to us. And people are very skeptical of God, and they say, well, you didn't answer my prayers, things didn't turn out the way I expected, I'm not living the life that I had dreamed of, and so you're letting me down. And so they have trouble trusting God because he's not doing what they asked him to. But you have to realize that God's plan for us is much bigger than our view of our reality. When we look at things at a surface level, he looks at things from 30,000 foot, actually much higher than that level, and so he sees the entire tapestry of our life. We just see what's in front of us. And here's what we can trust about God. We can trust who he is. Now, you may not trust what he does because we're only human. We don't understand everything he's doing. But you can trust who he is, and he has given you promises, and God cannot lie. And just a few of his big promises that you can trust is his unfailing love for you. He is absolutely passionately committed to loving you. He's promised to never leave you, never forsake you. Okay? He's always with you and loving you, and that he is always good, and that all things work together for good for those that love him. Those are three pillars that you can trust because God cannot lie. So it's true, we can't always trust humans. They will let us down. But you can trust God. Even in the storm that we're in right now over this virus and all the uncertainty and the confusion over this virus, you can trust God. And so I just want to encourage you this week that it doesn't matter what you hear in the media, it doesn't matter what's going on around you, you can turn and trust God because he is good and he's worthy and he's given you promises and because of who he is. And also too, if you live in Ontario, get the app. Okay, this is fantastic. This will help protect you and your loved ones. So we'll talk to you next week. But this week, if you're confused, lean on God and trust him. And if you'd like to learn more about how to trust God, how to hear his voice, how to heal your heart, then join our Free Your Mind program. That's our weekly online video series that is teaching people how to be transformed mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. So we'll talk to you next week. But this week, trust God.